You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Attack on Titan After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Attack on Titan After Show.
I was waiting for the music. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
The theme song that's so exciting so you can get excited about people dying.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
I love that we have it actually playing in the back. Yeah, we're not even going to talk. We're just going to watch the theme song over and over and over again.
I don't even think that doesn't sound like we're actually coming through. The people are just watching it. It's just...
That's probably best. Actually, I think your volume got turned down so... Yeah, your volume got turned down so low.
I can't hear.
Yeah, you can't hear anybody.
All right, so
that's John Quick, who can't hear anything. We might need to turn him up a notch. He's 3.
Just a little bit. Well, that and I also started doing,
that was me. No. That was me. Yeah, that was number 2. He's 3. Anyways, that's John Quick. And next to him, Katie Cullen.
Yes, we're experiencing technical difficulties.
And sitting next to me, Megan Salinas.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys, I'm Dave Klein with the technical difficulties. Just on
of
our
which
headphones.
we have multiple this week.
Yeah, we have. Okay, so speaking of which, if you guys listen on iTunes, right now we're having issues with our website as well. So live streaming, iTunes, there are issues with AfterBuzz, and it's the people hosting AfterBuzz. They have screwed up and basically screwed us all over. So if you could tweet at them and say WTF, but actually say the F word, because I can't say it.
Not the hosts, but the hosting company.
Right, the hosting company that's hosting AfterBuzz.
We all did a retweet with some more information on it. So if you guys are looking for more information on that, you can go to Twitter and just kind of retweet, even just retweeting what we did. That'll help out a lot.
But YouTube's working just fine. So on YouTube for now, we're fine, and we're trying to get everything working as soon as possible. And if you retweet, that'll help us get the website fixed. So let's go ahead and jump on the show, and let's just jump right into it this week and just talk about A Dim Light Amid Despair, Humanity's Comeback.
Part uno.
These
really
always
long
sound
title.
like French romance novels or something.
They are like
A
the
dim light
longest.
amid despair.
Humanity's comeback.
Well, they're
That also
always
sounds
just
like a
the-
romance novel.
That sounds like a that sounds like a telenovela. If only I could
Yes.
speak enough Spanish, I would say that in Espanol. But
Okay,
damn
what
if
were
I
you going
can.
on?
Oh no, I was just saying that these are like the longest episode names I've ever heard.
That's why they repeat the titles over and over again, because they're like, that took a lot of work coming up with that title. So let's use that one again. Part 5, Part 2, Part 3.
By the time we hit part 9, you'll have it memorized.
You'll know
Hopefully.
exactly which arc you're in.
So we start the episode right with Keith.
Oh my gosh, I love Shadis. He is the best drill instructor ever.
Outside of Arlie Ermy, I agree with you. This is
Second best drill instructor ever.
He looks like Master Xehanort from Kingdom Hearts, and I don't think I'll ever be over that.
He's
But that's
not
like-
evil,
I won't.
Katie.
But you
How
know
do
what?
you know? He's a drill instructor.
But you know what, though? Any Kingdom Hearts reference is a good thing. I think.
Not if you have Xehanort training your students. I'm just going to leave that there.
Well, we know that the point of his screaming at everyone's face is in order to strip away their humanity and their personality, in order to reduce them to blank slates, is what the one guy says. And you know exactly kind of what he's trying to do, because he'll skip over a few people like Eren and Mikasa because they got this blank 1,000-yard stare, which is apparently what you're going for. You know, that's which is comforting, because it's not like those two people are just batshit insane.
Nope, not at all. But I mean, I think that's honestly that's just typical Army. Like, that's what the drill instructor, that's the point of it, period. It's just to break
mold
it
you
down
into a
and mold so
soldier,
we can
yeah.
mold you. So yeah. So that's just very typical. But we start meeting a bunch of new characters throughout this. So we meet Thomas Wagner first.
Yeah.
Tomas.
Didn't he pronounce it like Wagner?
Wagner.
Yeah,
I think it was Wagner.
I think
We're
this
very
is.
German.
I think this is the episode of here's a bunch of people you're either going to see kill Titans or die. Like that's
much.
what this episode is.
No, they're all
Get
going to be
know
heroes,
them.
John.
You may not know them for long.
They're all gonna be heroes. It's good.
Yeah, the
It's
first
good.
2 episodes was essentially world and plot, and this is characters. This is when you get just to meet everyone.
This is our cast, and we're basically just gonna roll the dice. Does anybody want to start taking bets on who's gonna live and die?
Assuming that all of these people are going to be heroes and be okay is assuming that everyone is going to come out of the next episode of Game of Thrones alive.
But I mean, I don't want to, like, for people who haven't watched the show yet, nobody knows that. I didn't know that at episode 3 that this was a Game of the Thrones style show where you roll the dice.
You
We
didn't?
started the first 2 episodes with bloodshed and people getting
But no
eaten
heroes and known
alive.
characters really died. You have the central, the
Other
mother
than
dies.
Eren's mom.
Yeah, but that's like a central, like, character building type of moment.
They set the tone that anyone can die at any time.
But not
And
heroes. They didn't say it as heroes
anyone
can.
includes heroes.
I'm saying
we
that-
also saw the Survey Corps, which is what some of our heroes are training to be, come back as an arm. I'm going to make a Moses joke every single episode.
I'm gonna actually reference the writer of Pacific Rim. Heroes can't exist in a world where heroes can't die. So.
I'm
There
just
are
saying
no
that,
heroes in a world
but
where
I'm just saying,
heroes
like,
cannot
you're
die.
you're
Yeah.
very used to a lot of shows where people, they're magical heroes. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
but
like a
this
lot of
isn't
people you
one
get to
of
know.
them.
But I'm saying by episode 3 at this point, that wasn't necessarily
You don't-
a known thing. Just how
You
much this
you
world,
really
how brutal
don't
the world is.
understand how off the cuff, like, what's going to be coming is really coming.
I mean, I love that they did it. I'm just saying, like, by this episode,
Yeah.
we don't know that about heroes specifically.
Yeah.
You are an incurable optimist. That's not going to be good for this show. They'll be fine.
I'm just saying, by this episode, you just don't know that that's how they're going to handle it. That's why I didn't want to
Okay,
say
well then,
anything.
Anyway.
let's go down the list of who. Of
So
who we've
anyways,
all met.
yeah, so we
we've
meet
got-
Thomas.
We meet Thomas.
We meet
all right.
Jean, and
No, Thomas. We also meet Mina and Jean, and well, Armin got his official little intro. Marco, but let's do the most honest thing. I like what Megan said. We should be taking bets on who's going to get to live. All right, so
Aren't we all spoiled?
we
all
can't
know.
take bets on that.
Probably not a good
If you take
plan.
bets on that, you're going to try and throw people off and trick people. You're like, oh, this boy.
and how is that a bad thing? Start telling me how this is a bad thing right now.
But
Because you're
You okay?
spoiled, so a lot of times
Are
it's
you
easy
okay?
to see through someone trying to do that.
But it is funny how much we learn about these people just through these brief character introductions. You know, we learn where a lot of people are from. We get hints of their personalities, and we get hints that, that of who's really seen devastation and who hasn't.
And we
you know.
learn that Sasha is dumb as a sack of hammers.
But I mean, let's kind of go through these character traits that we meet right off the bat. So you meet Jean here.
Oh,
John's an
Jean.
asshole. That can continue on.
You're the jerk of the week.
Kind of the egotistical one, too. So that's
Kind of.
He might be a
Kinda.
jerk, but you gotta love him for it. He's
know.
just so funny with how egotistical he actually is.
So Marco's the one who
Marco was smiling, which was a bad
Marco
idea.
is the one who wants to, nothing more than anything else, he wants to give life and limb in service of the
he's
king.
kind of like the nice guy, you guess, like the
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
guy one. And then Connie Springer immediately
Oh,
gets
Connie.
headbutted by.
No, he
Jean
gets
gets headbutted.
Oh, you're right, it was
Connie
Jean,
gets
sorry, it was
lifted
Jean.
up
By his
by
head.
his head.
because he did the salute wrong. Like that's a major one though. Like that is like, are you that stupid, kid?
I love
Put
Connie.
his left hand in front, and you don't do that.
Is your heart on your other side?
So Connie's awesome. And then we get, of course, Sasha.
Sasha.
Oh,
Eating the potato.
Oh, potato girl.
She was dumb enough to bring a potato to basic training. Not only to steal it and admit
Well,
Windows 95 startup.
Windows 95.
No, that was
believes
the
in
you
Sasha.
win, Sasha.
well, she brings it in. Like, not only does she stole it from the mess, she is eating it like just within like looking distance of their drill instructor. You can even see the animators have even had people around her like looking like, should we say something or should we just like ignore this? And then as soon as Shadis, he's got Connie by the head, just holding him up. As soon as he sees it, he just like drop.
He drops Connie into a little pile of dust.
We have reached a lower level of idiocy here.
What's
Let's
going
examine
on
this
here?
one.
Good for Connie.
Just eating a potato.
Connie won this one round. Connie, you won points there.
No, he didn't. He just lost fewer points
because he
than
wasn't the
Sasha.
stupidest.
That's not winning points. That's losing fewer points.
I love how like even like
got points back.
Shadis is broken by how stupid all of this is. Like he can't, like he's asking her, why are you eating this now? And she's like, what do you mean, like, are you asking me why people eat potatoes? And then it's like cut away to everybody else just like look of like fear.
Eren looks terrified. You know, Eren, our protagonist,
Who saw
like,
his mother get eaten.
who will dive head first into death to, you know, accomplish his goal of killing Titans. Even he looks terrified. Like, why would you do that?
You just kind of look at this and go, oh, better her than me.
And I just love her reaction to it too, because she's like, oh, I see what this is about, and breaks it in half and goes, okay, you can have half.
Not even in half. She's got a small piece and a large piece.
Yeah, she
and
gave him the small piece.
The small piece.
Did you know?
Have half.
She has a begrudging look on her face too. It's like, here, have this. Like, I don't want to give this to you because it's my potato, but you
I
can...
stole it fair and square.
She's our anime character who is obsessed with food. You gotta have at least one.
Is there any show that doesn't have one?
I can't think of who it is in Bleach.
Comment,
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know about
comment
Bleach.
below if you can think of an anime that doesn't have a food-obsessed character.
Yeah, like,
I got
On
nothing.
even on more serious ones like Death Note, even Elle loves sweets.
Those,
so, yeah.
those potato chips.
Trigun Vash is
And
all
Ro-
about donuts.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's Ryuko. Who's his Shinigami?
Ryuk liked apples.
Ryuk.
Yeah.
Ryuk, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, even in
Food.
really serious anime, food is a very important thing.
I guess in Blood Rain, I don't remember that, but that was a one-off. That was a movie. That wasn't a show. On TV shows, I feel like it's more common.
I'd also imagine it was slightly traumatizing.
Blood Rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very traumatizing.
Anyway,
Speaking of
have
traumatizing
repressed
shows,
it.
let's keep on going to Attack on Titan.
Yes.
And speaking of that, we immediately see already there are dropouts who can't handle this.
after one day.
After
put
one
him on
day,
the
but
bus.
Let's go back. Let's talk about Sasha's punishment real fast. Let's just make a mention of it. She is now ordered to run until the sun sets, and everyone just sits there like looking at her, just loping off into the distance.
Well, no, she gets two parts of her punishment. She has to run until the sun sets, and she's not too upset about that. What she is upset is about the way her meal privileges for the next couple days have been affected, and that's what breaks her. That's what makes her really sad and lonely and depressed.
Well, the next 5 days, no food during basic training for 5 days.
Yeah, that's pretty
She's gonna be
insane.
pretty much dead by the end.
That's a death sentence. Going with that.
Hey!
Bringing it full circle
Segway.
to Eren after the drop. Well, we didn't really talk about the dropouts. So the dropout thing just is already that intense, and you find out that they're going to have to go work the fields, and that's essentially what they're going to do. So
And
Eren,
Eren-
big star, big guy, big man who got to see his mom get eaten, and so now he's the popular one. You want to be popular? Watch your mom get eaten.
Just decides to swing his nuts around, talk about how badass he is.
It's like, yeah, I saw my mom die. It wasn't a big deal. It's all good.
Titans aren't a big deal, man.
Yeah, it's not like it walked over the wall. It just stuck its head over. It's no big deal.
It wasn't even that big. It was just barely bigger than the wall.
And then you had to give Jean at least a little bit for deciding to like you puncture Eren and like deflate him. I mean, it was just like the clash of egotistical assholes in like that one moment.
Pretty much.
And if nothing else, you have to admire Jean for being honest. He's like, look, I'm only here to make it to the interior so that I never have to fight a Titan.
Oh, is that what you call them? Armored Titan? I don't even know, man. They look like all the others.
It just looked like a Titan.
It's just, there's so many.
Why
bro.
is it that I'm picturing Eren with like hipster glasses?
Because that's exactly what we're getting at.
He's like, that was just I saw
I had
Titans before
it was
all
cool.
of you. I was the first one who saw Titan.
I saw Titans before they were horrifying.
I wanted to join the military police before everyone else did.
But unlike everybody else, all you other posers, I'm going for the reconnaissance side. So
I'm
yeah.
gonna go out there and fight them.
Which is the point where Jean goes, "You're an idiot. That's suicide."
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
He's not. No,
I mean,
he's not.
He's not. But you're going against the shonen protagonist's goals, and God knows that makes you the bad guy.
Well, it's also, I mean, like, he wasn't bad for calling Eren out, but then it's more of the fact that even though he's honest for his goals are the laziest goals. Like, I just want to train so I can be fat and, like, have a great wage of staying safe. And, like, in this context of everyone's dying, that's what makes you look bad. Like, well, you know, a wall just got broken open and you know, the hundreds of thousands of people died, and you just want to go play it safe and join the military so you can not have to do military duties. So that's where
it's a really, like, it's very short, like, very, very, very short-term goal because, like, as you said, they've broken through the wall. Like, it has been established that at any time these Titans could come back, like the Armored Titan or the Colossal Titan. Anytime they could come back, like, the interior is not safe. None of the walls
they're
are
never
safe.
breaking through the interior. It's way thicker.
No, guys, you guys don't understand. Wall Maria got broken through, but Wall Maria was the pussy wall.
Yeah, that was
that was the one that, like, yeah, it's probably gonna come down eventually. Whatever.
Have you seen how much thicker each wall gets as it goes? No way.
They'll never get through all rows up.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Nope. Not happening. So, let's also, so after this happens, and again, in this fight, Jean breaks it up himself and decides to just call truce. Slap that hand away, Eren, as he agrees to it. And Jean is infatuated by Mikasa.
Oh my god.
Giving him another tally on the douchebag scale. He's a white guy obsessed with Asian girls.
You know what? You can be
admittedly,
into
she's-
whatever you want to be into.
To be fair, this is Mikasa we're talking about. How is everybody not in love with her? Because she's just the coolest character.
This is something that drives me crazy about your usual post-apocalyptic whatnot boot camp. She looks like she's wearing makeup. It's a Maybelline commercial going on in there. She's got the shiny lips and the full lashes. And
So
I'm
why-
like, you're
why-
in boot camp. This does not happen naturally.
So why you gotta notice that and not notice, like, Eren's beautiful locks and
Because
how
I'm a
amazing
girl
his
and
anime
Eren doesn't
hair
care.
is?
Because this is an anime that places focus on the fact
And,
that she
and
walks
Jean's,
by and
like,
she's
awesome,
beautiful.
like hair that just comes perfectly down.
Because
and-
the anime doesn't care and doesn't put emphasis on it, but they sure as hell put emphasis on her walking by looking like a model.
Well, it's because
I don't know. I notice Eren's cool hair because I'm like, I wish my hair was like that.
Is there something you'd like to tell us?
That I wish my hair was like that. I wish I had anime hair,
want
okay?
anime protagonist
That's why I like
spiky hair.
animes, is because I want anime protagonist hair.
And then just getting to the weirdest, like, most overly dramatic scene. So Jean decides he's gonna chase down Mikasa because, holy crap, hottest girl I've ever seen. Sees her walking with Eren and then wipes his trust
Hey,
on
Megan.
Connie's back.
That's my trust.
Just
I think that was more.
Trust.
I think that was more of like the hand that that Eren, like that he and Eren sort of shook hands or slapped, like high fived or whatever. I think he was just like, ugh.
Well, that's
like,
the
I
clean
don't-
version.
Yeah. It's just, it seems like a weird translation to me, honestly. I'm like, that seems like it was just not a good translation.
Well, even in the sub says my faith in humanity or my faith in others. So
See,
it's
that-
like,
But even
That's
that makes
funny.
more sense to me than my trust. That's like a weird,
well,
like...
that's what trust is, technically, if you want to go dictionary on this.
I like the idea of Jean wiping off his faith in humanity.
Yeah, like that
I'm
one
really
makes
sure.
that one makes a lot of sense because he just saw the fact that because what he just witnessed was Mikasa being all over Eren, which is now his rival. So him saying like, "My faith in humanity, I just
Wasn't
wiped off
all
on
over
you."
him, walking next to him.
It
we
was
have-
because Jean was obsessed with Mikasa's hair, and Eren told her to cut it because it would get in her way. Which, again, he's not wrong.
Oh,
But
no, he's-
Jean sees it as a betrayal
He's absolutely
because
right. He's
Jean's
just
a
like,
jerk.
Oh,
I've never seen anybody, with such beautiful long hair. And she's like, oh, thanks, bye.
Beautiful
oh.
black hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So he's like, oh, you should totally cut it. This is going to get in your way. And just the expression on Jean's face when we cut back to him is like, oh my gosh, like it's some sort of desecration.
See, I also took it as him just being so into Mikasa and the fact that she just kind of blew him off, and then she's talking to Eren, and just Eren tells her to do something. She's like, "I'll do it."
Well,
Little
if,
column A, little column B.
if we're looking at this as an introduction of a love triangle, we see unrequited Jean, has unrequited feelings for Mikasa, and Mikasa, is clearly cares about Eren, and if it is kind of in a romantic way, then that's kind of unrequited because he's very focused on his goals.
I don't think it's romantic on her end.
Really? I think it is.
It's hard to tell. At the end of this episode, it seems very kind of romantic, but it's hard to tell if she's just attached to him because she has those romantic feelings, or because this is literally the last family I have on Earth,
Exactly.
and God help me if anything's going to happen to that.
And honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's something that's going to keep coming up throughout the rest of the series.
Well,
is,
she obviously loves him, but it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic love.
No, it doesn't. But that's obvious. But again, it kind of goes back and forth with, well, is it? We don't know.
Yeah.
Because we don't get a lot of stuff from Mikasa's point of view, as far as I know.
Not really my priority in this series anyway. Let's be real.
Well,
Not
speaking of priorities in this series, let's talk about the 3D maneuver training. Or actually, I guess we could briefly talk about Sasha and Krista.
And Ymir.
Sasha meets Krista, falls in love with Krista. This will happen repeatedly. Let's move on.
Everybody falls in love with Krista. Everybody's reaction to seeing Krista is, "You're a goddess."
I assume she's going to die.
She's the nice one who's going to,
Die.
I was going to say, give people what they need in moments.
Yeah, because she was nice enough to go and get food and everything. Whereas we have Ymir,
The sociopath.
who's like, "I'm going to help you, but this is because you're going to this means you'll owe me something, and I'm going to call on that in the future." So we have the altruistic version and the agenda version,
Right.
I suppose you could say.
So we get those characters introduced. So 3D maneuver training. We get it happening, and the basics are just to hang there. And Mikasa, she's got the aptitude, but I don't know about this guy over there, though. Eren.
Eren,
Who's
who
upside
keeps
down.
falling flat on his face every time he tries.
Oh, that poor kid. He was so gung-ho. This is, just total, karma coming back to bite him right in the ass.
I
so
loved
great.
that conversation with him and Jean and Connie, with him going, "Guys, you have to help me, because this is his dream, this is his mission in life." And Connie's like, "Didn't you say if people couldn't, hack it, that they should just get out of here and work in the fields? Or did you say if they were too stupid to work here?" That was it. It was something like that.
Yeah, like how immediately afterwards, Armin and Mikasa try to help him, and even Armin can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Eren, you can't do it. Even Armin can.
Well, Connie's just
Yeah.
bitter because he never managed to get Jean's trust out of the back of his shirt.
Yeah, that's true.
But I was gonna say,
Hey.
after all this, Eren's not popular anymore.
No.
Yeah, and
Aw.
it's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, some guy named Daz was making fun of him. When a guy named Daz is making fun of you at the end of the day, yeah.
Your host.
Yeah, you got a lot
You've got a
working
lot of
against
issues.
you.
But I really like, because you actually do get to see this moment of vulnerability. He's still a kid. They've been through a lot, but at the end of the day, right now in their training, he's still a 12-year-old kid. And you can really see that in this episode with, "Guys, come on, you have to help me. The assignment's due tomorrow, and I don't know how to study."
And Mr. Shadis, he's really, really harsh. This will decide my entire grade.
He's more frightening than a Titan.
He's totally out to get me.
And he won't let me turn in late work.
So, and then we have
Alrighty.
this whole part where Mikasa, speaking of what we're talking about, Mikasa, she tells Eren she's basically trying to get him to quit at this point. She says, "Wherever you go, I'm going to go with you." And that's kind of, I don't know, the way I interpreted it was romantic, but I could just be what you were saying, where it was
Yeah,
just
it could
general
still be
love of family. But, of course, Eren's already pieced out and doesn't hear any of it.
So he goes to...
And
go ahead.
He goes, then Sasha's sitting right next to him, and God bless Sasha. Every time we need a comic relief moment, there she is.
Are you going to eat that?
So Mikasa does. With great relish. Just
That
mess
was
her up.
pretty
And just
great.
the look on Sasha's face, like, we can't be friends.
SCHADENFREUDE.
I love that Mikasa did that. That was awesome.
That was great.
That's also where the animation budget died. It became the slideshow.
Well, we're
Attack
going to
on
see
Titan.
where it went.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they know where their priorities are. They're
And-
like, we can watch people eat, or we can watch people 3D maneuver.
And that's something that is going to come up again and again because we get some spectacular action scenes, and I'm with you. I would much rather see the spectacular action scenes than chomp.
Yeah, I do have to wonder with how popular this show is and how well it did, if they're going to up the production budget for season 2, or if they're going to say, well, we can just keep saving money because it did good enough.
My understanding is that there's going to be a DVD re-release of season 1 in which they do go back and animate all of the scenes that were slideshowed.
Oh, that's
This is what I've heard. I haven't heard anything in the past.
That's a lot of
month
money
or so.
for them to spend that they don't need to, because I would buy the DVDs without that. But
How many times have they re-released Evangelion?
That's fair.
but to
Think about
add
it.
animation onto it and all of that.
Well,
Oh yeah, they've done all sorts. Anyway,
we do really need to talk about Bertolt and Reiner.
we do.
Oh, Reiner's
So-
my favorite.
2 more
I love
characters
Reiner.
for you to meet.
Yeah, so we get the characters who have also witnessed the Titans.
Yeah.
The nice wake up. Hey, open your window. What's in your face?
Yeah.
A giant Titan.
We find out that they both were in a village near Walmaria, or Maria, however they're pronouncing it. But we find out that they were in a village right there, so that they didn't get word right away when the Titans attacked, but that the Titans, when they got there, it hit hard.
Yeah, it's like we heard these like booming sounds, and the animals were really disturbed, and we didn't know really what it was until we opened our windows one day, and hello.
And it
then-
was like the
there's a
T-Rex
massive-
from
yeah.
Jurassic Park 2 at the little kid's window.
And we
Exactly like
also
that.
get, Bertholdt reliving this story, basically saying, he's like, after that, like, it's just a blur of panic, and I don't even remember what happened. And, yeah, that I think, says a lot about, like, the different ways people deal with Titan attacks.
Oh yeah.
We also get in this scene, we find, because Armin's there as well, we find out his reason now for joining the Corps, which was because after seeing what the government did and that whole scene of everyone being basically sent out to die, that's why he's joining it. He wants to do something about that. So that's his reasoning.
And
It's
we
like,
oh,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
fight the man by joining the man.
Well,
It's best to do it from this
inside.
side. Yeah, inside job.
And we also get Reiner and Bertholdt's reasons. Bertholdt is with Jean. He's like, I want to join the military police. I don't want to have anything else to do with this. And Reiner's like, no way. I'm going to go out there and get my home back.
Yeah.
Like, that's his motivation for everything.
As they take Armin and
Eren.
Eren out on a nice little hike. Yeah, I sometimes
Let's go look at the moon. And have a chat about everything.
And now we're going to give you a tutorial from the ground up on 3D maneuvering gear. Go.
Although, yeah, I agree. John was pointing out, like, so why did we walk all the way out here instead of just going to the 3D maneuver ground?
In the
Because
sub,
we can.
yeah, in the sub, like his turnaround line is, "Hey, tomorrow you should really take a look at your belt." And in this, he's like, "Okay, now I'm going to teach you all about the belt from the ground up." It's like, oh, now all of this makes sense. Before it was just like, I like the woods, guys.
But it still doesn't make sense for why they went out to the woods. Like, why not go to the 3D maneuver training
actually,
area?
There
Pretty
probably
scenery.
is a point. There probably is a point.
Or maybe
If
they're at
this
past-
is a military
yeah,
school.
yeah.
It's probably past curfew, so they got to sneak off the grounds if they're going to do any extra.
That's a
training.
really
So
good
that
point.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So then at the grounds the next day,
Eren can do it! He
For a
did
little
it,
bit.
guys!
except not.
It's like that triumphant moment of, yeah!
And I laughed. I was like, "Oh goodness! Like this is interesting. They have the protagonist fail right here and now. I wonder how they're gonna go about it." And then it's like, "Nope, it's just a equipment."
And then it makes him
malfunction.
seem even more badass. Wow, he did it with fake, like, broken gear.
It turned out that the main belt around his waist had a broken clasp, and whoever was in equipment assignments overlooked it, which brings back the check your belt tomorrow line.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, makes him look like even more of a badass because he was doing it even when his stuff was busted. Wow.
Well, an interesting thing to point out, because at least in the original sub, Shadis said that this usually doesn't break. I'll have to add it to the maintenance list, whereas in this one, he just does drill sergeant badass line. So then it kind of comes up to, so Eren was always working with a broken belt on a part of it that almost never malfunctions. did somebody intentionally do that? And if
was
they
it
did,
sabotage?
yeah, and if they did, why? Why did they sabotage? Like, obviously it wasn't Mikasa. Well, it could have been Mikasa, but then her line after all of this kind of indicates that it wasn't her. Was it Armin? Like, who would have the drive?
If it was sabotage, honestly, I would have put my money on Mikasa because she was like, "You should just give up this dream," but at the same time, I don't think she'd be that cruel to him.
You also have the fact that they've been using the same equipment for 100 years without really needing it.
That's
so
true,
it could
too.
also just be a normal equipment malfunction that happens. So, but regardless, they problem solved. Eren's all right, and we're gonna go 3D maneuver through the trees. But briefly, we also find out that I think that Shadis is friends with or knows the doctor, knows Eren's father.
He's like, you should be proud. Your son's a soldier. It's like, okay, how do they know each other?
Yeah.
How do they know each other? Why do they know each other? Where is Eren's dad? We still don't know.
Well, if he was the only doctor in town, I'd imagine everyone knew him.
It was starting to look like he was at very least almost like the only doctor in like the southern part of like definitely in Wall Maria, possibly Wall Rose.
I don't know if he was the only doctor, but he was definitely a doctor that went like all over.
Or maybe he was just the best.
Yeah.
Maybe
That
he's just
could
really
be that
well
too.
respected and was just the best doctor. But yeah, so that wraps up this episode of Attack on Titan as we see them 3D maneuvering through the trees and where the budget's going to be.
Yes,
Where you
and
want
it
it to
looks
be.
Beautiful.
glorious.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
amazing.
lovely.
They do a great job at animating that. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. Sorry about the live chat. Sorry about iTunes. Hopefully, they will both be fixed in the coming week, and please tweet out about that. But, guys, you can find me on Twitter at the Dave Klein. That is Klein.
You can find me on Twitter at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I also do the Sword Art Online panel and the Turn panel later on tonight.
And you can find me at @NowQuick.
And you can find me on Twitter at Kiaxet, Kiaxet, and I'm also on the Sword Art Online panel.
Oh, this is awesome. We've got the ending theme. That's great. Nice. All right, we will see you guys
right.
next week. Later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.